Hello,
Ooh.
and welcome to the Madness Table. I'm Andrew Walker, using my soft inside voice after I was told that if I yell too loud, it's bad for audio quality. We're going to have a great time today as we do some adventure stuff, and maybe one of us dies. Who knows? It's the Madness Table.
That's all right.
And if you have questions like, oh, what, Will? Why, God, why? Log on to our Discord and ask him. He is legally obligated to answer all questions asked in bonus action content that do not contain major spoilers for the players and fans. So log on in, like, subscribe, and let William Johnston take you away. Back to you, Will.
I went from fireside chat to ASMR real quick.
And you know what?
Yeah.
I'm so here for it. Those tones. Oof. Oof. Andrew.
You can talk me to sleep any day, Mr. Walker.
Mr. Walker.
You're really
I
working
will.
on that steamy, non-erotic scene that people are going to make fan art about.
Who said anything about not erotic?
I
You know
felt
what?
I
It's
had
fine.
to say that
There
because
was- there was
Sam's
stir.
mom's listening, and
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't want her
sorry,
to get the
Mom.
wrong impression of me. I'm sorry, Mrs. Conklin. I
You
really
mean
am not.
you mean
awful.
you don't want her to get the right impression of you?
That's correct, yes.
Well,
Oh.
man, I gotta follow up those smooth, buttery tones.
You won't.
I won't, and so I can't even try. But last time, you all were somewhat resting, licking your wounds, celebrating within what remains of Blingdenstone's people, all holed up in the maze, kind of the original entryway for anybody trying to make their way into the city. And eventually, you all kind of regathered, began speaking with each other. You learned that Jimmy had not returned yet, and as you had gathered up search parties and you opened the main gates into the city proper, you found him covered in slime, wounds, and blood, awaiting you with his horribly beat up mithril skillet and two odd tomes in a ring. Now reunited with his mother, he is just fine, and everybody is quite surprised with how daring he was. You have holed yourselves up in this closet where you talked a bit about what happened and what you learned of each other from the Pudding King, delving into your minds and kind of reevaluating as a group and your priorities and where you stand to an extent. And we ended with Vlad in his smaller dragonoid form asking you all, what's the next steps? So it's still the evening of the battle. You have not long rested. You, last time, a couple important things you had figured out what that robe was. Scylla had spoken to Grave Warden, Burrow Warden Jagger, not Grave Warden, and learned a few things. And the night is still yours. What are we feeling?
Well, as we have come to a at least somewhat of a peace within the party.
A ceasefire, if you will.
Indeed.
Mm.
Well, now that we have agreed that we will continue to venture together, and let us say that we will strike out to find more allies, I believe we should resupply and prepare ourselves to depart. I do not think we should long tarry here. I think it would only serve our enemies' purposes.
Is there... What is the next destination? There were a few places that the King of Ember had originally suggested to us. There's, of course, Gracklestug we have not returned to.
I thought you were not allowed back there.
I'm not allowed in a lot of places. that doesn't mean I don't go.
Fair enough.
I would prefer not to backtrack too much. I believe that we have a mission ahead of us. As much as I would like to return and see those who we have left behind, I think we should continue forward, perhaps to this Gondolgrim. It was mentioned to me by the Borough Warden as a place near the surface that Seni had sent a convoy.
Oh. Yes, Gondolgrim. I have heard of this place. I will be frank, I wish to see the surface again, but not to stay there. I wish to bask dawn's edge in the morning light once more, and then return to our task. But I think there are important allies that we can gain in Gondolgrim and perhaps above as well.
DM, does what do we know of Gondolgrim just as a civilization?
Sounds like some history checks.
I'll give you a history check.
Oh,
Give me the history check.
Can we
I
all
will
roll,
not
even
give
though I
you
probably
that.
should have done it before?
You can all roll.
I'll help someone. I'll help Sephel. And I know
honey.
Gondolgrim is a very important gnomish city, and there are many waterfalls within it. And by that, I'm helpful because you know all the things I'm saying are wrong, and thus you will pick different ones.
It's like activating the naysay part of my brain. It's like, that is not correct. I need 26.
5.
26, 5. Makes sense that Scylla would have no knowledge. All right. Sephel, you know of Gondolgrim as a very old, some would even say ancient dwarven city. And it was once the capital of an old dwarvish empire. However, it was lost many hundreds of years ago and has only been recently reclaimed by King Brunor Battlehammer. And this city was built, at least upon the surface, from what you can see, on a truly massive scale. You've heard legendary stories of it, with many of the doorways supposedly large enough that even full-grown or even ancient dragons could pass through them. And much of its construction was made from iron, mithril, stone, and many of its ways and operations are conducted with tremendous machinery and magics, unlike many cities today, or even other dwarven cities that continue to stand. So the fact that it's been repopulated, or is being repopulated under this dwarven king, is an incredible feat, because it had been torn apart by drow, orogs, orcs, and the Grey Dwarves as well. So everybody had a piece into the city, because not only does it rest upon the surface, it acts almost like, if you guys were to picture an iceberg, the smallest part is on the surface. And even that is considered massive. So it stretches down deep into the Underdark as well.
Would Sephel share that?
Yes. Yeah, at least it's all kind of history. So yeah, he would.
Okay.
Yes, that sounds like it might be a mighty ally, and perhaps this Battlehammer might be one to our cause, wishing to ensure the safety of their kingdom. Excellent. Well, Scylla, does that work for you? I mean, it's not Gracklestug, so that's a point in its favor. Yes.
Yes, I feel as though it is our next step to attend to a city that has a connection which we know here, which is Seni. Perhaps she can give us something to help our favor in meeting someone kind to us. However,
Very
I
good.
am leery of returning to the surface should we reach the city.
Well, it would be your first time, right?
Yeah, I am leery of going to the surface should we reach the city.
Yes. I thought that was your sworn quest in the name of your departed comrade, Indigo.
It was at that. However, I now find myself hesitant to bring you to the surface, Starcaller. It seems that perhaps you have a aggressive side that I do not wish to unleash on those unwilling on the surface. So it has come to my attention that perhaps we should not.
You do realize I am from the surface, yes?
I do.
And it hasn't, crossed your mind that perhaps it is the surface that molded me into the force of pure divine retribution that I am now.
I would say yes. That is part of the problem.
Excellent. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, huh?
So we should go and we should meet those who have connections with Seni, and perhaps we travel to the surface.
Your your logic might be slightly unsound, but I find myself agreeing. I too would like to remain as close to the Underdark as possible, as disgusting a sentence as that is, simply because so much has occurred down here. So much darkness is active at every moment. I find myself unwilling to remove myself from the information of what is going on. Should we step away?
Sure. I think there's logic there as well, but I think we can gain strength beneath the sun's light, and also, who's to say this is not happening above ground as well? We do not know.
We don't.
I know nothing of the surface, so I don't know.
Wise words.
I must admit there is also a part of me that wishes to expose as few people as possible to this conflict. We of course need allies, we need powers. But the fewer people that get dragged into the abyss, the better.
It feels like containment.
If we can stop it here, we should. If we need resources outside, I will not turn them down. But I will not ask people not yet involved in it to give up everything if I cannot offer them security from what we already have.
Indeed, it falls to us to give everything, as you say.
But that's... I suppose we get the best of both worlds with Gauntlgrim. We get the connection to the surface with the survival instincts and manufactures of the Underdark. We shall see what it has to offer, and should we need to go further, we will, but we should assess once we are there.
Very well. This is a solid plan.
I also would not want to stay here much longer, I do not think.
No.
Indeed. I have but a brief bit of business, and then I am too ready to leave.
Perhaps we meet at midday tomorrow.
Yes. Yes,
Take
this is
your
a good
time,
plan.
wrap up what you need, and rest.
Do you... I have not been here. I don't assume the relationship, but do you need to tell your new friend where you're going, or
Oh yeah.
take it?
Oh, don't worry. I will be speaking to him. He has an important part yet to play.
As he has one fewer limbs, I find him to be less of an asset.
Oh no, I just need his hammer.
That's
a
right.
He has a magic hammer I need to fix my magic gun.
No, that's fair. Forgot about that.
I will come with you to see him.
Very well.
I have a feeling that I should allow you to attend to that bit of business on your own. I don't want to impose myself, but
Shall we meet at the...
A good idea.
I will begin
So-
to make preparations. Where should I meet you?
Yes, perhaps the city gates? The ones that we found Jimmy at? Is that...
Should we
that goes into the
Too
city
far in?
center, and we're in the maze now.
Should we meet with Senny to figure out more of Conklin before we depart?
How about this? We meet midday with Senny. We handle whatever business we need before then, and then right after we talk to her, we just get out of town.
Peace.
I think that's what Sephel was saying, that we should meet with Senny at midday.
I was not listening.
It's okay. Sometimes you have to let the peons reach the conclusions by themselves. They feel better about it.
What is a peon?
Not the thing you think it might be, literally. I'll
I
explain
can
it to you on the
think
road.
I look over at it's Dragon's name? No, not Ivan's. The other
Vlad.
Vlad. I was like different.
Yeah, other Transylvanian name.
Yeah, I just like gesture towards like I give like Vlad the check out this guy like thumb towards Phil. He doesn't even know what a peon is.
Roll an insight check.
Not my best, but not my worst. It's an 8.
13.
Okay. You do that gesture and you look away. Scylla, you look over after just like briefly like just hearing the tail end of that, and you look at Vlad and you see Vlad just like huff some smoke and roll his eyeball at Starcall.
That's my boy.
But he's also got a little bit of a grin on his face.
Mm.
All right, Vlad, let's find a quiet spot and prepare ourselves for the journey and let these two wrap up what they need. Unless you would prefer to get out and see some things, as long as you're careful.
This is a quiet spot for me. I might dally here on these crates a while longer before pondering about the place. I'll find you when I'm ready.
Can you swim, Vlad?
I can.
I would like to do that with you sometime.
It's not my favorite, but I can try it with you.
It would be fun. And then I think I'm going to head out with Starcaller.
Okay. All right, let's do some Hester business then, because that's going to
Sure.
require all of us again.
Yep.
So as you guys leave this storeroom and you start venturing back out into kind of like the general populace here, you find that just about everything is quieted down. Most people have either settled around their campfires or have moved off into other storerooms, and you can like see through open doors that people have stacked up crates and boxes to form like tiers of beds and bunk beds of sorts. But everything's pretty quiet. Not everybody's fully asleep. There's some stragglers moving about. Go ahead and make perception checks.
Nat 20, 24.
Nice.
19.
Nice. So Hester, the last time we saw them, had kind of been mustered off with, I believe it was Nomi, to see if anybody in the Stoneheart Enclave had the means of regenerating your limb. But I think when you guys spot him, you see him sitting alone, actually, towards the far northern kind of arc here. If you're on roll 20, I'm gonna move Lad's token to where Hester is. Oh nope, there's Hester's token. Up to the northwest from where you all were, alone, kind of with his own settled camp. And what do we see Hester doing?
I think Hester is sort of, he's sort of been in deep pondering, going over, he used his energy, he, kept on this bright face to help set up the celebration for the people because they needed it, but there's still a lot of, grief and pain and misfortune to process. And I think he's sort of allowed himself to do that last. So I think he's just been sort of on his own, processing and sort of letting things come to rest.
Sure. As you guys are approaching, you see that he is still missing his arm. However, it is bandaged and salved. What do you guys do?
Hester, well met. How do you fare?
Well, all my good limbs are working fine, so I thank the smooth hands for another day, I suppose.
May we join you for a moment?
Of course.
Artemis will go sit down next to him.
Yeah, Scylla is also Scylla's intent here is to be a bit of a babysitter from the last time that she was with both of them, and it was a little tense. Mm-hmm. So she'll sit. I'm glad to hear that you are well. Have you had any luck finding a healer?
Well, the people at the Enclave are doing their best, and I think Nomi's still trying to reach out and figure out, but they patched me up the best they could, and I'm already feeling a little better. But
perhaps if friend is still here, she could assist.
that's actually a very good idea. I don't really know what their capabilities are, but certainly something to inquire. But
Indeed.
I like to think of myself an optimist, but I feel like I have to plan for this thing not coming back, So I guess I just have to figure out what that means.
Yes, and what do you think will become of the city now? Do you think these two halves could make a whole?
I think we have a better shot than we've ever had. I hope so. I think Senny and Shipgrain have got the nerve to make something work if they if their attitudes follow suit. But I don't know, I worry. These people have been through a lot.
Indeed. Soon, we must leave you. We will journey on to Guntelgrim, I believe, and seek of more allies for the fight to come. Unfortunately, Ublex is not the only demonic threat. Well, as you well know.
No, that makes sense. And you got your friend back, which is a hell of a lot better than I thought you would wind up when I found you.
Yes, he is not dead anymore. That's a big get.
Friend is a statement which carries a lot of meaning. I would not say it quite yet, but he is back.
All right.
That was suitably ominous. Great.
I was merely making sure you were correct.
Perhaps these things mean different things for you and for me.
Would you call me a friend?
Starcaller looks you in the eyes and slowly smiles. Why, yes, Scylla. We have basked in the shared blood of battle. We have stood by one another. I dare say we have each saved the other's life more than once. If that is not a friend, I suppose I don't know what is.
Interesting. Hester, I am sorry we must leave you here.
No, that's honestly, I've been trying to figure out how to talk to you. I was gonna stay. I don't know if there was going to be any invitation where I'm kind of a cripple at the moment. So forgive me for being presumptuous. I've done a lot of work and spent a lot of time trying to get these people to where I think we're right at the precipice. And I need, if there's any chance that I can help push them over that edge, I have to see what I can do.
It is good that you have such purpose, and they will need you here. You will be invaluable to them in the time to come. But yes, your lack of one limb did affect our decision.
I appreciate your honesty as always.
Always.
But do not worry, Hester. The demon threat is not going anywhere and will continue to be a clear and present danger to your life and life of all around you for the foreseeable future. So don't worry. We will have need of you again.
I look forward to the day that those battles come.
Indeed.
But until then, I'm very glad that you're leaving. Not as a personal thing. It could be not a personal thing. We could all just use a break.
Interesting.
I'm sure I have no idea what you mean, because I don't. But I do have a favor to ask.
Okay.
Do you remember when we met with Miss Coldfoot about
Yes.
fixing my ballista device?
Vaguely.
Well, she asked us, she said the only way she could be sure that if we came back with Lyria's Skyforger's hammer. You currently hold that hammer.
Shit. I was gonna tell you the only way that they could give me back my arm was melting down a powerful artifact.
Oh,
Beans. You hate to see it.
So I handed that over. I really I'm just kidding. And
I'm glad. I was going to kill you.
And that still wouldn't have fixed your gun. And he pulls out the hammer and hands it to Starcaller.
All right, Starcaller, you have the hammer.
And make no mistake, I will bring this back. I just must first see if Miss Coldfoot is, alive and also still smithing.
Well, I wish you both the best, and I do truly mean I look forward to the day we fight the hordes again. It was certainly the most exhilarating time of my life so far.
It has been a pleasure, friend Hester. Starcaller.
Indeed.
And
Starcaller stands up.
Scylla, if I can offer some friendly advice.
Of course.
I again presume nothing of your relationships, and I know you have a very particular way of viewing the world that I've come to cherish. But friendship is a weird thing. and it's not defined by the lack of hurting each other, although you wish it was. It's when laughter around a campfire covers up the hurt.
I am. You have given me much to ponder.
I
Hope
don't
so.
know what it is I've heard, but I enjoyed hearing it.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Anyway, good luck, y'all. I will see you around the tunnels.
Quite so.
Yes.
And Starcaller will stride off.
And Scylla will follow him back.
Okay. You two leave Hester there, and you start making your way back into the throngs of everybody. Are you searching for this smith? You searching for Senny? Are you what are you two doing?
I
Or are you going
actually,
to rest? Or
I
Scylla?
actually want to see the smith. Or I want to buy some gear. I don't know if it's best to go to the smith. I don't think a smith could probably do what I need before we leave, right? So I probably just want to go buy something.
Okay. All right. But you two want to generally find the smith, or maybe somebody who has some things that you might be able to buy off of them. Okay.
Yeah, I want to at least make sure the smith is alive and see if they can do what I want done.
Okay. Sephel, what have you been doing in the meantime? Just resting?
Sephel, I think, is just trying to, like, it's a little bit of resting and a little bit of, like, trying to deepen his connection with Vlad. Like, there was a very brief, like, he's literally known Vlad for cumulatively, like, a couple of hours between, fucking off from the tower and then leaving him to go do battle. So I think just sort of, mostly resting, but also trying to deepen that connection a bit.
Okay. You quickly find it's like they are very much like the equivalent of a 13-year-old. Who
They're already
is,
bored
like,
of me.
Yeah, essentially they're already moody. Like you're trying, I imagine it's like,
So what kind of things do you like? Don't talk to me.
What's 20 questions. What's your favorite color? And Vlad is just like smoking nostrils, is just like not even paying attention to you, almost like the equivalent of putting in headphones and like turning away. And you get this sense that something did miff him.
Sure.
Whether it be from the group or you.
Yeah.
You're not entirely sure, but like definitely upset.
Know.
Okay.
Let's quickly jump to Starcaller and Scylla, though. Both of you make another perception or investigation check.
14 investigation.
14? Okay.
19 perception.
Nice. You don't see the smithy. However, as you're kind of moving through the throngs of people, you do find Nomi Pathshutter, who is tending to a number of shrouded bodies, actually. What do you do?
Ms. Pathshutter.
You see her straighten up and turn around. Mr. Starcaller, a pleasure to see you again. Scylla?
We are seeking Miss Coldfoot. Do you know if she is about?
Just a moment. And you see she actually pulls out like a clipboard of sorts, and she is going through a long list of names. And she flips through a couple pages and she goes, yes, unfortunately, they are no longer with us. They have passed. Was there something that you needed from her, though? We do have a collection of some of her belongings.
Oh, no, I was hoping for her expertise, in fact. She was hopeful that she could repair an item for me if we recover the hammer of legendary smith, Livy Skyforger.
And that is when Scylla feels a very cold presence kind of like hit their shoulder. And Scylla, you look over and you see it's Bro Warden Jagger. And he's like floating through you guys and turns around in front of Starcaller and goes, "What is this of Lyra Skyforger that you have found?"
Oh, yes, well, we found his secret forge with its many otherworldly, I don't know, machinations.
You found her forge.
Oh, yes.
Where in this blasted tunnelscape was it?
Well, see, you take 3 turns and go left, and he describes about where it is.
So that is how they did it after all these years.
Yes, it turns out just right behind the foaming mug.
Yes. We were always quite curious how they managed to disappear and appear quite quickly whenever danger arrived within the city. And did you find her ghost? Were you able to put her spirit to rest? Was she still amongst us?
Actually, great question. Never found her.
How fascinating that this is the case. So it is not her that we seek to end our continued existence here. But what is it of her forge or Miss Coldfoot? He's like looking over at Nomi.
Oh,
What of this? What aid did you require?
Starcaller just pulls out the hammer and pulls out his dented Gauss ballista. Well, as you can see, this should be straight, but it's curved. But this is Lyri's hammer, so I was hoping that you would just hit it a few times and then it would be straight again.
I have not seen that weapon in a very, very long time.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, look at this. And Starcaller throws it, and then presumably it comes back to his hand, I hope.
You're not attuned to it, so you throw it, and it just ding, 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 and you hear somebody in the background, "Ow!"
Oh,
Perhaps you are not proficient.
I don't think that could possibly be the problem. Starcaller picks up the hammer.
Yeah, you go over to the injured person who's like, already got a concussion. He's like, "God damn, man. Why are you throwing that?"
That's my bad. And then I palm the gnomish head and pump 3 points of lay on hands into him.
Oh, thanks. I guess.
Stay frosty, little guy.
Sure. You can actually see there's like a ring of frost from the point where it hit and bruised him.
I think it's pretty good at being a weapon, I guess.
You come back and Jagger kind of floats up to you to meet you partway and goes, we always wondered how she had conducted her experiments, her crafting in secret. It only took her but a fortnight to create and assemble our greater stone armor that we wore, something that we thought should be impossible by any normal smithing manner or process.
She did not use a normal process, my friend. No, she made use of a metallic automaton that was infused with the spirit of an Ifrit.
How fascinating. But if that is the case, how could you not activate the automaton and see if it could repair your weapon?
Couldn't figure it out. Also didn't try to figure it out.
Well,
I was almost immediately unconscious, as a matter of fact.
And I would suggest that you try and awaken this automaton if you require forging aid. I do know Senny has sent for help from Gauntlgrim. She has not received a returned missive as of yet from her runners. Perhaps in due time, and in such time you can conduct what experiments you may in awakening this figure.
Indeed, perhaps that is a good use of our time. Well, Scylla, you want to come, or do you have other stuff you want to do?
I am interested in purchasing weapons and armor. Is that something that this smith can assist with, or should I head to
Well-
the Trader's Grotto?
Well, the only current living smithy is now no longer amongst the living, so that is rather unfortunate.
Great
Yeah.
scarcity.
Yes, there is a few merchants remaining, and we have pooled what we can from the battlefield. Some things, however, remain lost into the ooze-infested halls beyond. You can try with them, or perhaps if there's something you need created and your friend can awaken this automaton, perhaps they can help you.
I will assist you, Starcolor.
Very good. Should we attempt to find the smart one? I mean, Sephel.
Something tells me he would not be interested in this.
Yeah, and we can probably figure that out ourselves. Come, Scylla, let us enrich the bond of our friendship. Come.
I have suddenly changed my mind. I think perhaps we should find Sephel.
Was it the middle finger?
All right. So you guys head back, and Sephel is in with Vlad. And here's a quick question, though.
Sure.
Who's got the Ifrit gem?
Hester.
I thought Hester put it back in the thing,
Yeah,
like
you put it back
the
in it.
automaton.
Oh, that's
No, you didn't.
no. No, we didn't have time. Cause we rested and he was like trying to figure some stuff out. But we rested and then the lights got all fucky and he was like, "Oh, we got to go." So I think Hester still has it.
Okay, so we want to go back and get that and then go.
Yeah. Hey, Hester. It's us again.
Okay. What's up?
Well, it turns out, Ms. Coldfoot's dead. So I was wondering if we could have the Ifrit gem to perhaps awaken the metallic guardian of the forge.
After everything that we just went through, you would like me to hand you the gem that has an Ifrit precariously trapped inside of it. The gem that is mechanically inclined and you could fuck with it very easily.
I would like you to hand me the gem.
I
that
would
can
also
take it
like to
Sephel.
hand Scylla the gem.
Have it your way. All right, let's go find the Squid Man, the Dragon Boy. We can start this fire up.
Hester puts it in Scylla's hand and just goes, "Under no circumstances does he touch that gem."
Of course not. I would never dream of it.
Dear gods.
Let's go find Sephel.
Excellent. All our friends together again, sir. Isn't it grand?
And Hester
Did you say
just
something?
Hester just stares at a wall, pondering the horror that he may have just unleashed into the world again.
Well, you
Fish
gather up
away.
Sephel then.
Sephel, I'm sorry to interrupt this awkward silence you're having with this teenage dragon, but we have an exciting mouth problem for you.
Sephel puts up a very long finger as he is. He gave up on the talking. As you walk in, he is actually he has pages just like strewn about the floor of like segments of rune combinations and has been like copying and scribing and combining, and so there's just a very scribbled inky mess on pieces of parchment as he's been experimenting.
Do you produce this ink yourself?
I
You
was
can't just
gonna
ask people if he produces his own ink.
Andrew and me on the same page.
Do you think that I am a squid?
I am not sure how mind flayers work exactly.
We don't ink.
You
Oh,
can
well,
actually
or-
hear Vlad like rumbling laugh under credits at all of this.
I mean, are you sure you don't ink? You are fairly new at the whole being a mind flayer thing.
perhaps you haven't inked yet.
I don't accents.
May I squeeze you?
Show him that tentacle thing you did where you sprawled them out and you started writing with your different tentacles on the paper.
That is an instinctive skill that I am still a little I'm still a little conscious of. Anyway, sorry, what about the blacksmith?
Ah, yes, they're dead. We're going to make a new one out of a metal thing and a shiny rock.
I need context right now.
All right, we'll do it on the way. Come on.
Okay. Glad we're going
And-
on an adventure. Would you like to come see a metal thing and a shiny rock?
I don't need your permission, and yes. Vlad gets up and like cat-like high tail in the air prances by Sephel, flicking it until they're like up against Starcaller and Scylla.
I don't know what's going on, but I like this dragon boy.
All right. So you guys get outside the inner gates leading into the city proper, and it is dark. It is kind of sketchy, and you have this eerie feeling as you can feel the palpable measure of death that has occurred here. Like, has anybody here set foot on like an old battlefield here in the US, like a Civil War battlefield? For me, my greatest example is like Gettysburg. Like, holy smokes, like you can just feel it. It's like that. And I need everybody to roll stealth checks. Because you know these halls are still infested to a degree.
7.
Okay.
Also 7.
Oof.
18.
Okay. So Artomis up at the head here, kind
Does
of
Vlad
leading the
need to
group.
roll one?
Vlad got a 16, actually.
Oh,
Not bad.
okay.
You're a little bit louder, and I assume that's because Sephel is probably like taking a little bit longer, and Scylla is kind of like almost tugging at his ropes, like, come on, we don't have time to look down every corridor, because Sephel hasn't seen much of the city.
Sure. That's fair.
But eventually you make your way to the tavern. You do have to make a couple stops, peering around corners, because you see or hear like the movement of oozes. And you eventually find that secret tunnel, and a few hours later, you find yourself exiting out of that kind of tighter corridor into the halls and chambers of Leary Skyforger's hidden home. You see that the lights have returned to a green color. And as you walk into the large smithy, you see the large and smaller anvils. You see the giant forge, the bellows, the tables, the scorch marks, and that hunched over automaton, rusted and pitted in humanoid shape. What do you guys do?
Sephel, this is where we were.
Is
When
this
we-
where Starcaller bit it?
Yes.
I did not bite anything. I was unconscious for a short time.
Yes.
Anyway,
This is the gem that we have been told lights the goal individual here, and she will hand you the gem.
do I get any? What is the read I get off of this gem? Like
Are
its
you
nature.
doing detect magic, or are you just going to do like a straight up Arcana check?
I was just thinking a straight up Arcana to begin with.
Okay, roll it.
That's balls, but I'm really good at things. And I'm gonna use a knowledge. Okay. Only a 15.
Okay. You can feel heat emanating off of the gem that is still open and not surrounded by the metal rhombus. And you can almost, as you look into the gem, you can almost see like the swirling within it that seems to look like swirling flame. And you almost feel like you, for a moment, see something of like a figure within. But it radiates a very, very large amount of power off of it. Just straight kind of unchanneled power, but you feel like in this metal container, it is it's that almost acts like a conduit or a means of channeling that energy.
You said this was you trapped an Ifrit in here.
That we did.
I was asleep for that part.
Is there anything suggesting that socketing this inside of the automaton would simply give the Ifrit control of the object?
You're asking us?
I don't know what you gleaned. I'm just trying to figure out a baseline.
I would say potentially.
Well, I mean, if Lyra used it, it couldn't have operated in that way at the time.
Do you know exactly how Leary used this?
No, but I'm saying if the Ifrit wasn't like happy to see us, So if Leary had like trapped it there, they must have had some way of controlling it.
Sure. Well,
I mean, if you think there's a high probability that this goes horribly awry, we could do it in the morning.
well, I was going to point out that we are fucking stupid and came here before resting. So
You can just sleep right here.
there is a potential this goes terrible and I am useless to you.
I'm going to Does anybody have identify?
No.
I mean, I have it. I have to cast it as a ritual.
Oh.
Something nags at your subconscious to do it.
Okay, fuck it. 11 minutes
cast
later.
The ritual, and you learn two things about this.
Okay.
One, it acts as a magical arcane engine of sorts. But two, the gem within it acts as an Ifriti bottle, which, to anybody that knows anything about that, if you were to free the Ifrit, it has the potential to serve you in some sort of way. Now, as to what that could be, it's uncertain. You've heard reports that the Ifrit has turned on those that have freed it. You have learned that it can serve you for a short period of time. And some have even been able to get wishes from the Ifrit.
So we could just like wish away all our problems and then we just like close the book and
The wish spell has
It has many limitations.
limitations. But as soon as Sephel gleans that, though, he's just thinking of basically the two ways he knows to detach from Orcus.
Sephel, you have gone quiet.
Sorry. Did any of you bother talking to the Ifrit before the combat ensued? Tried to strike a bargain with it, perhaps?
I did not. It was pretty much immediately attacking.
Very hostile.
He's it's entirely dependent on temperament and probably innumerable factors, but there have been stories of creatures of this kind granting wishes to those who free them from containment. And if you would permit me to tell you more of my scenario, the two ways that I can be separated from Orcus that I am currently aware of are killing him and a wish spell, which is far beyond my reach.
What sorts of other things can a wish spell do?
It can give you currency, there are some instances, however, documented of high consequence of individuals wishing certain events had never occurred. There are limitations. It's very fickle and very specific. If you are not careful with the wording of your wish, things can go horribly wrong. But it's versatile if you know how to use it. But this is assuming that this is the kind of a Ifrit who would do such a thing. I simply wanted to put that into the world.
Well,
there's also the option we release him and he turns on us again.
I would like to have a nap before that might happen.
I would as well.
Shall we rest here for an hour and then give it a go?
Ooh, I meant more like 8 hours, but
Yeah, I have nothing. I have hit points and that's it.
So it's like, y'all are weak.
Yeah, it must be nice to hit stuff.
Oh, it is.
So, just so our options are out there, we can place this in the automaton, assuming it works the way that we think it does, which we have the most information pointing towards. We fix Starcaller's gun and we are on our way. We also have the option of releasing this Ifrit and seeing the scenario that creates, but there are no guarantees in that scenario.
Could we not fix Starcaller's gun and then release the Ifrit?
It's potential. We could, assuming this Ifrit has some sort of knowledge of its scenario, we could use it for this purpose as a bargaining chip to release it. but
I
that might harm our chances of gaining wishes from it.
Yeah, can we talk to it before we release it?
I will stare at the gem. Uh, can you hear and respond to outside speech, Mr. Afreet?
You're just speaking to this gem in common.
Uh,
I'm just asking for clarification. That's all.
would I know better?
I think when it
roll-
all went down, I was the only one that could understand it, right? Am I wrong?
You spoke primordial, correct?
Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
Sephel knows primordial, so it's a question of would he know to use that tongue for this?
That you roll a straight up you roll an insight or a straight intelligence check.
I would help.
Intelligence.
By being like, the last time I spoke to this individual was when.
Okay. I got a dirty 20 for straight intelligence.
Okay. What you know of Afreets is that they're very proud and evil creatures.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to, for lack of a better word, charm this creature into working with you, this extremely powerful creature, and potentially granting you wishes, as part of the group that captured it, you'll have to do some supreme sucking up to it. And one of the ways you could do that is by addressing it formally in primordial. However, the fact that it's inside a gem, you need some way of transcending boundaries, whether that be telepathically or some other type of spell, perhaps, that allows you to communicate almost as if far away.
Oh, I got, so many spells. Like
so many spells?
Like all the spells.
All the damn spells. Okay, let's see all the damn spells.
Then just cast wish yourself, magic boy.
Magic man.
I didn't say all the levels. I said all the spells. Oh, that's actually a good point. Did you send me the stuff for?
Shoot, I didn't add
for the
stones
spell
in
books. You
Let
bitch.
me flip back to that actually. So let's see here.
Yeah, we can do that off air because it's not going to matter. I literally don't have spell slots. So
yeah, there's some spells that would allow you to communicate, but you don't have straight up telepathy?
No. Nope.
Okay.
Cool.
All right then. Yeah, no, there's some spells within the books that you could try to transcribe with some coin and stuff like that to learn and then use.
Okay. So to come back to the point that we were already at, we need to rest.
Yes.
I can speak to this creature. I can attempt to talk it onto work our way into its favor. That is going to be incredibly difficult considering that you already put it away. Which means, Starcaller, your pride will have to take a back seat when we are conversing with it.
Yeah. I'm good at that.
What if Starcaller and myself were out of the room?
That's an option.
What if you told him that you killed us?
I have a feeling
I would
that
not believe that.
Deception is not... Hold on, why would it not believe it?
Well, it's just simply that if you look at myself and Starcaller, we have strong abilities and...
You saw me half disintegrate an aspect of a... Never mind. Anyway. I have more hit points than you. So we rest. I can transcribe some spells from the books that Jimmy found to try to talk to it. It may be wise for you two to leave the room, at least at first. And I can call you if necessary.
Agreed.
But I think we start with a rest.
Okay.
I think that is good.
So you all, I'm assuming you hunker down here within the forge where there's the old stone bed and at least some modicums of comfort, unless you go back to the city.
No, right here is fine.
Yeah, he was
All
good.
right. Then you settle down for a long rest, and everybody can mark that.
Yay.
Sephel / Brendan,
Yes, sir.
remind me what it costs you to learn a new spell from a source.
I believe it is 100 gold pieces, and so I have.
Special ink.
Well, yeah, that I had stocked up on at one point, and Will and I worked out like creating some. So the materials to scribe are not an issue at the moment.
So you can make your own ink, Squid Boy.
Convenient.
No. Not with mine. I believe it is. I want to say it's 50 gold pieces and an hour per level of spell.
Okay. Where is that? Sorry. Just confirming what level, because it actually doesn't say it on here.
I'm also confirming that I am not.
Okay. So this would be, you would essentially be having the spell Sending. It's of 3rd level, and it's of evocation. So that would be 300 gold to learn for you.
No, hold on. For each level of spell, the process takes 2 hours and costs 50 GP. So it would be 6 hours and 150 gold pieces.
Okay.
For Sending.
Well, thankfully, it doesn't take you a full 8 hours to long rest.
No, it does not.
You all settle in for a long rest, and Sephel, after you rise essentially from yours, you begin learning this spell. So go ahead and mark the gold off of your sheet, and you now have the spell Sending. Now, you've all, I'm assuming, moved into Leary's old bedchambers instead of all residing within the forge, correct?
Yeah, it seems a little homier there for old Starcaller.
If I will move your tokens on roll 20. Sephel, are you going to conduct this communication and possible release within the forge, or are you going to do it within the small mine, or back in like the old kitchen / pantry? What are you thinking?
I think... Well, so having known its scenario, I'm sure like they filled me in on the thing on the way in. I don't know if doing it in the forge would be a good idea, because I would be freeing it in its place of, captivity and servitude.
Sure.
So I don't think that's the best idea. So I think I would probably step out into the larger, like, southern mine sections of this place, and so like out where the mine carts are. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. Let's see it, spell boy. Do you guys have any words before Sephel leaves, as you all eventually rise, before this communique occurs?
Well, Sephel, good luck. And remember, just say that you killed Scylla first, and then me, and I was much more difficult to hurt.
Lying is not something that you should ever partake in. And when you are participating in this gambit, and it goes poorly, just scream. I will be listening.
Fair enough.
I will be watching for when Scylla is listening.
Sounds fantastic.
I feel like you like turn to leave and Starcrawler like leans into Scylla. Wait, do you really not believe in lying? Lying is one of my top 10 skills, to be honest.
I have learned this about you recently, and it has drastically lowered my impression of you.
That either means you're good at it or you don't have at least 10 things you're good at.
Yes.
All right, Sephel, you move to the southern area here into these mines, and you have this gem in hand. How does this go?
Do I, as part of the identification, would
Mhm.
I have learned the means of releasing it from the gem?
You would know that you would have to separate it from the metal housing, essentially, and then you would have to essentially just will for the Efreet to be free from the gem.
Okay. I am going...
Almost like a magic lamp, like rub it 3 times. Like,
Yeah,
I wish,
yeah.
I wish kind of a thing. It's essentially that. That's what you would have to do to release it, not necessarily only communicate with it.
I am not going to use sending.
Okay.
I am going to open up the housing and remove the
Mhm.
gem.
It kind of spirally unlocks, and you see the gem kind of rise up a little bit till you can pull it out.
And I'm going to... do I have to be touching the gem to will it out?
Unless you have another means.
Okay. So I'm going to hold the gem. I'm going to will it released. And then once it starts to release, I'm going to place it on the floor and I'm going to step back and kneel in subjugation.
Yo!
How interesting.
Ah!
You rub this gem and you see, like, from the kind of like sharpest facet of it, smoke. And you can smell like campfire smoke, and then like what smells of almost like a bonfire, and more smoke continues to pour out, and you put it down, and it just eventually becomes this blazing inferno that just lighting up this entire cavern away from you, mind, these jets of flame, until eventually smoke just covers everything, and this large figure comes leaping out of the smoke and like grabs you, this large red-skinned figure, and just picks you up and goes, "Who are you? And what are you doing here?"
I will respond to it in primordial.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Keep going,
Oh,
keep
no.
going, don't stop.
I will respond to it in primordial. Magnificent and powerful Efreet. I have heard that I could release you from the bindings of that vile contraption. And humbly, if you would deem me worthy, ask for your favors. I have heard wonderful tales of the power and the reality warping capabilities of your kind. And I simply wish to see if I could sway you to bless me with them.
Roll a persuasion check.
God, I'm so good at those. Oh. Okay. Nobody gave me blessings or anything on the way out, did they?
Nope. Not that kind of paladin, my guy.
No. I liked Indigo better than you.
Ah.
Yeah, he would hit you with that eagle splendor for sure, for sure.
Scylla would never have blessed anything that was close to a lie.
I just threw that on the floor. Holy! I lost the die.
Are you shaking so hard because you're so scared about what's about to happen?
Yes, I'm rolling a different die because I can't find where that one went. Okay.
All right.
So it's a 15 plus 0. I'm gonna use one of my knowledges.
All right.
And in the flavor of this, as Sephel is speaking, he's going to remember walking, or more or less running from the ruins of Sloopadoop in the wake of Lara dying and being brought back by something. And she was talking about this figure, this patron who wouldn't answer, who she believed wholeheartedly in. And he's just sort of using that reverence that she spoke of Kyan with to aid in this speech.
Okay. Love that.
That's a 6. So 21.
So 21.
Let's go.
This Afreet kind of like had grabbed you by the robes and you are up in the air. You're like eye to eye with it. And he releases the robes to let go of you, but only for the briefest of moment because then it grabs you by the neck.
Hmm.
And it's got like its thumb and its forefinger like up around your face, and he begins tilting you to get it like a good look at you. And he's like, "You have been touched, creature."
It's true. I am claimed by a vile, decrepit power that I am not strong enough to break free of.
And is this something you would have undone?
If you would grace me, it is something I would discuss, of course.
I will consider it if...
And they point with their other arm back towards the ground.
Mm-hmm.
If you destroy that vessel, I will consider granting you your wish.
I thank you. I would be remiss to turn down such an offer. I have arcane means to destroy objects, although I am unaware of the power of that object. Are my abilities able to do such a thing, or is a greater task needed?
I do not know. I cannot touch it, for I will be absorbed within it again.
Very well.
Try whatever you would. See it done, and I shall grant your wish. And perhaps if you do it speedily enough, I will consider another gift.
Very well.
And he releases you onto the floor.
Okay. I will look to him. I'm going to inspect the object to try to ascertain what can be done with it. So
He
I'm
like
going.
waves his hand like,
Make haste.
Okay. So I'm going to hold it again.
mhm.
Would an identify or something like detect magic tell me how strong this thing, like what means would be needed to destroy it?
This is this is just like a spell gem, essentially. As
Okay.
of right now, it
So it's not
is
an artifact. It could be destroyed with magical means.
absolutely, it can be destroyed with magical means.
Okay. All right. In that case, I am just going to place it on the ground. And I'm going to probably need to be a leveled spell, if I were to guess.
Yeah. It's not going to be a first level that breaks this.
Sure.
Not with that attitude.
Let's try. Actually, that's a good idea. I'm going to use some charges instead of spell slots, and cast Melf's Minute Meteors through Celestia.
Okay.
And I am just going to launch, of course, over the next 18 seconds, all of those meteors at the gem.
Okay. You begin launching these meteorites at this gem, and you can see it's like hopping off the ground with every explosion, and it's like moving about. And you see after the end of these meteorites are thrown, you go and inspect it, and you see that there's a small crack, but it isn't
Jesus.
broken yet. And the Ifrit's like,
More, give it more. See the vessel broken.
I'll cast it again.
you go through another volley, boom, 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 and you see the crack is even larger now, but the gem is still together.
It's a third level spell. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, I'm not going to use a fourth. Not right now. All right, let's do a Scorching Ray at third level, which is 4. What? Yeah, 4 rays.
Okay.
Total.
More like spider webbing is beginning to move across this gem, but it is still together. And the Ifrit is now like up in front of you, grabs you once again, and goes,
Do you wish to be free? Then empty yourself into its destruction. I wish not to see a speck of it left.
And he like tosses you down to the ground again.
Trying to. I think this works. Let's cast Blight.
Okay. Talk to me about Blight.
Now we're talking.
It's just 8d8 necrotic. It does more if it's a non-magical plant. It doesn't work on undead or constructs. If you target a plant creature or a magical plant, target a non. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about specifically magical objects. But I guess there is something to be determined in there over why it doesn't work on constructs.
Okay. You cast Blight, and you can see the gem is starting to turn black in dark, and there's like this roiling energy within it, and it seems to be like ever so slightly crumbling. And you feel this sense of dread starting to kind of come over you from within. And this horrible, twisted voice that you recall awakening you once again begins to reach out.
Oh no.
Why What do you think you will accomplish? You may possibly free yourself for now. But you think you are free. You do not think I will find you again in death. There is no escape from me. Consider it a temporary reprieve from service. I will see you again.
And you feel that dread beginning to pull away as finally this gem shatters. And all across the ground is just this faint, almost reddish dust that then seemingly becomes smaller and smaller and fades into the rubble. And the Efreet looks at you and goes,
You have your wishes.
and that's where we'll end today.
Yo.
Immaculate. What an incredible end to a wonderful episode. May us sit and ponder its meanings, and how eventually Sephel will too be screwed by his decisions. But until then, like, follow, and subscribe.